memories. In the city center, there is everything in the world, everything from Theater Arts Magazine to a banquet hall, as I mentioned before. In fact, in the basement of City Center, there's a very beautiful banquet hall, and naturally, when there's a banquet going on there, they serve things in the usual order. Soup, chicken, not warm enough, peas, dessert, coffee, and witty sayings. And it might well be at that precise moment that a young comedian could be entertaining the board of directors, let's say, at one of their regular functions. I'd like you to take a look now at Dick Shawn making his debut.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I doubt if many of you have ever seen me before. Most of the people that work here are usually very big motion picture names, great recording artists, very famous people. I'm very proud to say that I happen to be one of the better unknowns. And you know, the family originally settled from down south many years ago during the Civil War. And I was born down there now. Real Southern aristocracy. Pride, stick-to-itiveness. Real proud people. Lots of money. Real money. I mean, the average rich kid has a governess, right? Wasn't good enough for my dad. I had a governor. Southern governor. Real money. But you know something? To this day, ladies and gentlemen, I read all the history books about the family, how they lived in those days during the Civil War. And they were the fightingest family that ever came out of the Civil War. In fact, to this day, they have the rather unique distinction of being the only family that has not given up the Civil War. And they never going to give up. Because they got faith, because they believe. And because of my great-great-grandpappy, old Master Richard, who they sent up north for guns and ammunition during the Civil War. We haven't heard from him since. But we never gave up. Because we know that someday, and golly, what a day that's going to be, everybody. He'll come marching up there over the old Swanee River with enough guns and ammunition to save the whole plantation. Golly, what a day that's going to be. And I'm the only one left to look for old Master Richard. Every morning I get up. I look. I ain't seen him yet. But someday, golly, what a day that's going to be. He'll come marching up there. I'll give out the call. Yippee-doodly-doo. It'll be a quiet revolution. Yes, sir. He'll be marching. I'll see him in the distance, marching away. His head will be high. He'll be old, but he'll be high. His head will be high. Guns ain't the only load he'll be carrying. He'll be marching away. Oh, Master Richard, he didn't want to be a soldier. He wanted to be an entertainer. And every night he'd sing to the troops. They'd all gather around the fireplace. They'd throw something into the fire. And old Master Richard, he'd be jumping and dancing and jumping. The reason he was jumping was they threw him in the fire. But this didn't bother him. He stood right in the fire and sang his song. Someday, everybody, this is my destiny. Every morning I get up, I look. Old Master Richard. Someday. Golly, what a day. I'll see him on the horizon, just a little speck of a man. Just a teeny weeny little man. Coming, he'd be just so small. Just in the distance of little, just... I lost him. Someday, come marching up there. As ridiculous as it may sound, someday, sure as sure. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Golly, what a day that's going to be. Marching. Who's that? Who's that, everybody? It can't be, but it is. coming up after all these years. Look at him. Come on, boy. Everybody's been waiting, man. You don't know how long we've been waiting. Look at him. With $1 million. Come on. Come on, boy. Everybody's been waiting. Look at him. Look at him. With millions of dollars. Everybody. Come on, boy. Come on. Keep coming, man. You don't know how long. Hold it. It's not him. Sure looked like him, though. I want to apologize if I woke anybody up. By now, you can probably tell I'm a member of the newer type of comedians. There very few laughs, but lots of energy. I figure after the show, you'll walk out of here and say to yourself, he's not very funny, but by golly, he's strong. We certainly need our strength today. When you think of all the opera stars like Pinza and Helen Traubel and Melchior, all singing popular songs. Whereas on the other hand, the crooners, the relaxed, casual Dean Martin, Perry Como crooners are all doing the arias now. They figure a little culture in the act will further enhance their career. So don't be surprised if you see one of these typical casual, relaxed crooners that invariably open their tie and mess up their hair, and they have a certain looseness about them. If you hear one of these fellas introduce Veste la Juba from Pagliacci in a nightclub or a theater, they would walk out and introduce Pagliacci by saying, here's a crazy little tune. A little thing called Pagliacci. Hope you dig it. Originally recorded it with Dizzy Gillespie and the boys. Maestro, I'd like sort of a 2-2 tempo if I can get it. Nice, bouncy, easy 2-2. Sort of a dum diddy dum diddy dum diddy dum diddy dum dum dum. And just pick a key. I'm flexible. This time it's a great honor and a great thrill for me to present my voice. Would you give me a keynote, man? Red sitar. Mentre preso. Dum diddy dum. Down delirio, baby. Doppio qualche dico e qualche faccio. Eppure dopo sforzati. Would you spare it? Sei tu pora, sei una. To say, Pagliacci. Ladies and gentlemen, up to now, I have not been doing the opera the way it was written. I've changed several of the tempos, some of the lyrics. I spent about $38 on voice lessons, and so it won't be a complete and total loss. I'd like to do the rest of it as legitimately as I possibly can. And if I've offended any of the opera lovers in the audience, that's my humble apologies. Pagliacci.
La gente paga e vidr vuole i tuoi. Say on the king in vola Colombina, gridi pagliaccio e non applaudirà. Tranquillati, lo spasmo e il pianto, in una smorfia gli si inghiaccia il dolore.
Who's that, everybody? $1,000,000 guns. Come on, boy. Come on, man. Everybody,
He's great. If you'd like to know more about Dick Shawn, I can promise you're going to be hearing lots more about him. But if you want to know more immediately, I suggest you get the current issue of Look magazine. That's the October 19th issue of Look. And there's a wonderful story about Dick in there. It's headed with a line from his own act, one of the better unknowns. Well worth reading.